See, around this time, we get, in my opinion, the greatest split screen segment of all time. Um, yeah, you go ahead. I'll give you this one.
Wait. Are we at?
Yeah,
Does the split screen? Yeah, the split screen
yeah.
happens right before. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No, this is well, not just the split screen. Let's talk about just he's in the studio, and then they show Doc Hendricks, who's Michael Hayes, for all those who know who the hell he is. What a stupid catch name. But anyways, that's beside the point. He's running down the Survivor Series card. You got Austin coming in, and he's like, "What are you talking about? Why am I here? You fly me all the way here from Texas, and I'm here." And it's like, oh, Bret Hart's in his home of Canada, and they show Bret Hart. He's he's petting a cat. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Austin should have been right there. He should have been like, "You got your little pussy right there." I mean, that might have been a step too far. They might have been thrown off the air back in '96, but he should have. I'm like, look at. And then he's got his two kids there. Also, he's got on an outfit. Bret Hart has got on an outfit that makes him look like he's got the Canadian tuxedo on. He's got jeans,
But
a blue shirt, and flip flops. And I'm
okay,
like,
but
Austin,
now
there.
while we say this, it's authentic to who Brett is,
No, it really is.
and that's why it worked.
It works, but
Polar
there's
opposite.
a lot of ammunition for
Polar
Austin
opposite of what Austin is.
Yeah.
He's
got his children there, and you can see Austin. He's got his hands like
the mannerisms, like he's like the mannerism. Like it was hilarious.
Answer him. I love that. Like nobody was doing that. Nobody was doing that kind of stuff that Austin was doing.
You have to watch if you guys never watched the split segment, you have to watch it. It's hard to do it justice because there's so much that you have to visually see. The mannerisms that Austin does as Bret Hart is talking. There is never a moment where Austin isn't reacting to Bret Hart, which is extremely important in a split screen segment. He is reacting to everything Bret does. And when he's talking, you see Bret's face like
October 28th, 1996 is the episode we're talking about. And it's just also we forgot to talk about when Bret comes back, because we hinted at it. Brian Pillman, sees him, when Bret says I'm coming back, Austin does the little turnaround as we talked about and just looks at him. And what happens on the next Superstars? We get the term Pillmanized because Austin Pillmanizes Pillman. He puts the chair and breaks his leg. And
let's focus on the split screen segment a little bit more.
I know, but we jumped before that, So that happens. So the October 28, 1996 episode is what we're done with the split screen, and it's just amazing. I mean,
here's what I like about it, right?
It's real.
Austin reacts to everything Bret does, but more importantly, Bret supports Austin in a very important thing. At this time, Austin is saying that he's the best wrestler in the world and that he's the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. And he is literally calling himself the best in the world. This is a theme that we would see in wrestling nowadays with Punk and Danielson.
But the way Austin would say it, he's like, there ain't nobody gonna tell me I ain't the best wrestler in the world. Like he wouldn't say it like Punk would say, like the best.
Well, no, because Punk is somebody different, and that's what makes Punk great. He does his thing because he's different. This is the thing, like when we sometimes talk about, man, this guy needs to act more like Austin. We're not saying he needs to copy Austin.
Yeah, that's true.
He needs to copy the psychology of what Austin does.
And just getting back to Russo for a minute, he pushed Shark Boy to do that stupid crap where he would just rip off Stone Cold, and
because it's what he knows. It's the only thing that ever worked for him.
It made them look so low rent.
Everything that they did was low rent. It's TNA. TNA
right.
is literally, if you check in the dictionary for TNA, it will say low rent.
It's right next to the Dumont Network.
But another thing great is he's saying he's the best wrestler in the world, and Bret says, "That's why I want to wrestle you, because you are the best wrestler in the world."
And let's not forget, when Bret comes back, he puts over Austin, saying, "I want to wrestle the guy who I think is
the best wrestler in the world."
They didn't have to say that. If this was Shawn, he never would have done that. Like, that's Bret being a professional, giving Austin a boost in the eyes of Bret Hart fans who might not be paying attention to what Austin's doing right now and saying, and this guy's for real. Look at him as the best.
And even if you didn't like Bret, you will still take it serious because of where he was positioned. It's no different than even if you don't like John Cena. You were like, wow, when Brock just squashed him at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
You know,
is that nobody? I mean, they undid it by,
Okay, yeah, but I'm saying for the moment.
As usual, WWE does something great, and then let's screw it up within a month's time. We'll do the rematch. I mean, yeah, it would have been great. We would be talking about it. It's still a great moment, but when you look at it in context, they screwed it up.
And
it
also,
so much more when he came back to have that rematch.
Before the match in Survivor Series, right? They had a match in South Africa.
Yeah, and it's a good match.
It's a good match. One little key that I noticed when he fought Bret in the South Africa match,
he didn't beat him with the sharpshooter.
No, but the way he sold for Bret was a little different in Survivor Series compared to the Africa match because
he was more oversold.
He oversold, and I also noticed the opening of both matches are kind of similar. And one difference was that when Bret Hart would push him, when he's in the corner and he'd push him, in South Africa, he would actually sell it and do a back bump and then come back up. And in Survivor Series, he didn't. He just got mildly pushed and stayed standing.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was Bret telling him, Madison Square Garden, I want you to look a little stronger.
Knowing Bret and how much detail goes into his matches, I'm sure Bret went over the match and was like, because both matches, we're jumping ahead here again, but he doesn't beat him with the sharpshooter.
No.
Neither one. So I mean, and that has to be decided. He barely beats him.
And there was also a story involved in that he was a little rusty.
Especially in Survivor. When we get to Survivor Series, we're jumping ahead. I can't wait to talk about that. But let's finish with the split screen thing.
Yeah.
I mean, just the way he's looking at him, the way he's doing it. And then there's a part where he says, I'm gonna beat your ass. And there's a part where Bret tries to say, and he says, if Austin thinks he's gonna beat my pauses like that ass. So it's like he's looking for the okay from Vince. Like, are you sure I can say this? I gotta say this. At this time, Bret and Austin have become the biggest program in WWF. Like,
it's not even close.
Sid and Shawn are like,
which put it in context. Think about this. The Sid and Shawn feud at the time was the title feud, but more importantly, it was like what, a 2-year program that started in '95.
It was supposed to be Vader and Shawn, but they didn't like each other. So
but now that you're doing Sid, you put it in the context that they started this program really before WrestleMania 11 when he was the bodyguard, and then they like 5 power bombs the next night. So they literally had this as a long-term program that had 2 big stars.
I mean, they saw it as a long-term program, but we're not.
The point being, they were positioned to be way bigger of a feud, but it could not compete. Nobody cared Nobody cared about that match in Survivor Series. Okay, I'm not gonna say nobody. Sid had a lot of support, but that Austin and Bret Hart, the promo segments, the black and white promo segments.
Now at this time, had they done the first black and white one where Austin's like pink and black tights? You're coming.
What the hell is that?
What the hell? You're
black and white dogs barking, and
it's great.
A lot of the scenes from that video were used in the Titantron for Austin going forward.
Why not? That's exactly Austin. I mean, he's got like a tire iron. He's like breaking shit.
I'm gonna take 7 years of frustration out on your ass.
And then he says, "You're coming back to defend the legacy." Stone Cold's gonna so great.
It's like you lost to Shawn Michaels, the boy toy. And then he says, "I'm not no sexy boy."
I don't sing. It's like the cause Stone Cold said so video where he's like, if you thought you came here for some dancing, and it's like, you bought that wrong damn video.
But like what I love in the very end.
Oh God, so good.
You could finally go home to your family because you lost to a real man. He's not just doing a shot at Bret. He is literally going after the two top. That's how you do a promo when you're up and coming. You go for the top guys and only the top guys. Right there in that promo, he was cutting a promo on Bret, but he was also setting himself up for Shawn. Even then, and this is 96, they don't really have a real feud till maybe a little bit middle of 97 and in 98. And he already had this in mind. Now, mind you, he also mentioned Shawn in the Austin 316 promo, which is also a very important thing because he was going after British Bulldog and Shawn because they were the main event. From the get-go. From the get-go, he always goes.
When Stone Cold gets the shot, you're looking at the next WWF champ. And he says,
on the list.
The bottom line.
Because you're all on the list, and that's Stone Cold's list.
Thank you for watching the Kings Road podcast. You can subscribe here.
To get the latest clips and news on the show, or like us on Facebook.com/Kings Road Podcast, or email us at podcastkingsroad@gmail.com.
Also, check out our Instagram at Kings_Road_podcast and our Twitter at the KRP Podcast. Thank you.